What's going on, you guys? It's Daevone, and I'm back with another video. Today we're gonna be seeing what it's like to be interviewing a psycho killer. Let's see. I don't know.
This is 21-year-old Howard Ashelman, a devout Christian and prominent student at the Hobe Sound Bible College in Martin County, Florida. Despite only
Wow.
recently moving to Hobe Sound, Howard immediately had a positive impact on those around him. As an active member of the college choir, he quickly caught the attention of Hannah Jones, and the two
Yeah?
developed a romantic relationship. Hannah's parents
Yeah,
fully
they was
supported
holding
this and
mice.
embraced Howard as part of the family. Essentially, there was nothing but positive things to say about Howard.
I mean, with everything I'm hearing, though, you sound like a well put together dude, lifting up the community, going to church, in the choir, doing everything he's supposed to. Does he have secrets? We got to find out, because as of right now, all I can say is this is a good guy. I can't say nothing bad about him. This is a good dude.
However, his
Wow.
seemingly perfect life
What
was
year
about
was
to
that?
face intense scrutiny. In August of 2016, the Martin County Sheriff's Office received a tip from a private investigator in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
A 10-hour drive. Wow.
Over 650 miles away from Hobe Sound. Apparently, Howard Ashelman was a prime suspect in an
That was
ongoing
halfway across the
investigation.
country.
A few hours after
Eh,
receiving this tip, Martin County detectives asked Howard's girlfriend Hannah and her parents if they could speak to them
damn.
about Howard.
How long have you known Howard?
Since
Late August.
what have you been told by anybody?
He mainly sold drugs and he was in some
What?
gangs.
What? Do you hear her? I think she's the psycho killer. Whoa.
As more information was revealed about the type of person Howard was, Hannah's parents became concerned for their daughter's safety.
We obviously
Yeah?
don't feel comfortable with her hanging out with Howard. I don't know when he might snap or change who he is as a person, and she be right in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that concerns me as a dad.
Little did
Pops
they
is
know,
tripping.
Howard was involved in a crime much more sinister than drug dealing.
Oh, Howard's like that.
That.
2 years earlier, on August 24th, 2014, a man named Pete Chambers reported his 28-year-old son James missing to the Fayetteville Police Department in North Carolina. On August 14th, 10 days earlier, James needed a drive home from his full-time job as a construction worker before he headed to his
Wow.
part-time job as a lifeguard at Lake Lehman,
Oh, man.
about an hour and a half away. Pete
It just breaks my heart because this is years ago. This is so long ago. People had to move on. You know what I'm saying? People got to move on without you. People don't ever truly move on. They always think about you. You always do live inside people's hearts, but it's just got to be hard.
who was also James's boss, was initially supposed to drive him home, but he ended up asking one of James' co-workers if he could drive him home instead. The co-worker
Yeah.
agreed. The next day, Friday, August 15th, James
Doesn't
texted his
come.
mom saying that he
Oh.
loved her and would see her soon, but was unresponsive the rest of the weekend. This was uncharacteristic of James, and his family and friends quickly became concerned. After exhausting all efforts to reach him, they contacted the Lake Lehman campsite and discovered that James never even showed up. They crossed their fingers that they were
Wow.
overthinking it and he would show up for work on Monday, but he never did. On Tuesday, Pete asked the coworker who drove James home if he knew where James might be. But the only information he could provide was that he dropped James off and hadn't heard from him since.
Everything, bro. I don't even know. Everybody's looking suspicious right now. Everybody. Everybody. This is insane.
Day after this conversation, that coworker stopped showing up to work. 10 days after James was last seen, his family decided it was time to get both the police and the media involved.
Wow.
Oh, some damn buddy. Please.
James Chambers is desperate. He can't find his 28-year-old son.
Nobody's heard from him. Nobody's seen him.
A missing persons investigation was immediately
Wow.
launched. While interviewing James's father, they asked the obvious question: who was the coworker that drove James home? It was revealed to be none other than Howard Ashelman. Howard was actually hired and mentored by Pete, who had described him as a
Yeah?
polite and respectful employee. However, there
What? You hired, bro. I'm not gonna say he.
There was one occasion a few months prior where Howard and Pete's son James got into a very heated altercation. Apparently,
Yeah.
Howard even threatened to kill James. Naturally, Howard was asked to come in for an interview.
Did you guys ever hang out after work?
Yes, ma'am.
How was that?
Not bad.
He was questioned about his whereabouts
Not
and
bad.
actions on the day James disappeared.
You guys left work. Tell me what happened.
But we went, and I stopped at the ABC store.
Mm-hmm. How was work that day? Was everything good?
Everything was great.
Howard claimed that after work they stopped by a nearby liquor store to purchase some
What?
alcohol. This was later confirmed by the parking lot surveillance footage. They then headed back to James's house where they had some drinks before Howard went on his way.
When I
Yeah.
left him, I went straight home.
Mm-hmm.
Then the neighbors were having barbecue across the street, so I stopped in there.
Who was all at the barbecue?
The people who live there,
Just them?
some friends.
He said the people who live there. That's so no, bro. That's so funny. He's being so like he's cooperating, but being so minimalistic. It's so funny.
Said he left the barbecue before it got dark and went home. The detective then asked if they could search Howard's truck, but he no longer had it.
What happened to the vehicle?
My vehicle,
Mm.
I sold it already.
What was wrong with your truck?
I blew it up.
Howard told the detective
I think he's kind of getting red, you guys. Can I see something from the beginning? I think he's kind of getting red. Let me see from the beginning. Look, that's before. This is before. I think he's starting to get red, you guys. That's after. You guys see a little couple shades? Oh no, I feel like he's starting to get a little red.
What was wrong with your truck?
I blew it up.
Howard told the
I blew
detectives
it
that
up.
he had scrapped the pickup after he blew the engine from doing donuts in a parking lot. Surveillance footage from the salvage yard confirmed that Howard disposed of the truck
God bless
5
him.
days after James disappeared. On the same day, Pete asked him about
On the same day.
James. The rest
On the same day. So he dropped James off. I'm not even able to put it together like this. Not off the spot. So basically, James and Howard, they was chilling after work, and then James just never came back to work after he was chilling with Howard. Then Howard started getting questioned. He started to get nervous, so he got rid of the truck, stopped going to work, and thought that would be enough. But no, that just makes you even more suspicious, brother. Let's see what we got going on.
of the interview didn't provide any more significant information, but investigators had a strong feeling that foul play was involved. So,
Yeah.
the case was handed over to the Homicide Division. A deep dive into Howard's social media revealed that Howard had 12 different accounts, each presenting a different
the
persona
fuck?
and different names. The most alarming
That's some sociopathic type shit. I hope you guys know that. People who do that shit, you guys move weird.
being Homicide Howie. Since James's disappearance,
Homicide
Howard had
Howie.
been sharing disturbing thoughts and content about things like cannibalism and mutilation of a body. Detectives decided to look into
Ugh.
Howard's cell phone records. And during the time that he said he was at the neighborhood barbecue, his cell phone location was
weird.
at Murphy Road. Howard
Bro,
was then
he
brought
is
into
so
the station for
weird,
another
man.
interview and confronted with this evidence.
When you left James' house, where did you go?
Home.
You
Where were
lied.
at for the whole evening?
He just said earlier he went to a barbecue. Let's remember that.
I was at the house and my friends across the street.
Your cell
Never
phone
mind.
was pinging at this place for almost 2 hours. Okay? So that means you're within this 3-mile radius. That means you're not at home.
Nowhere near home,
I
buddy.
think I can explain it.
Okay, well, explain it to me.
Reno's house is in here somewhere.
Okay?
And he had my phone on him when he went back home.
Howard claimed that his friend Reno Parks had tagged along to the barbecue, and when they
What?
parted ways, Reno accidentally took Howard's phone with him. A couple of hours later, Reno
That's
brought the phone back
crazy.
and they continued to hang out. The detective was convinced Howard wasn't telling the full truth.
Howard, this is your
Hold on. If Reno might be an accomplice. Let's get into this, man. This is one of the better stories right now.
I brought you in right now to tell me the truth. You have not told me that truth since you walked in that door.
Yes, sir.
No, you have not. That's the only thing I want for you today, Howard. It's the truth.
I'm sorry. I mean, somebody Some of this
How
stuff
is you not? How
seemed
are
like
you?
it happened yesterday.
After yet another
How are you guys just not smart enough to say lawyer, bro? Just give me a lawyer, man. If I want to talk to you guys, I gotta talk to you. If you gotta give me these questions, man, I need a lawyer. Even a lawyer ain't gonna save you. Sometimes, sometimes they do save you. Let's be real. But bro, how is that just not common knowledge at this point, at this day and age? All this DNA evidence. As soon as they level up, you guys should have been able to level up too. But people are just criminals are so stupid.
fruitless interview, investigators decided to look into Howard's friend Reno. They discovered that Reno had an
Yeah.
extensive criminal background
Look
and
at
was
that
currently
nigga.
out on parole. But when they tracked him
2013.
down, he declined to speak with the detectives. With no concrete evidence connecting Howard to James's
Right.
disappearance, no more persons of interest to talk to, and no sign of James's body, the case stagnated for months.
Missing for
Damn.
more than 2 months. His family calls his disappearance a mystery.
I know I'm looking for my son's body because I know James wouldn't do this. And to know he's out there like a piece of trash.
Yeah, no, that hurts.
And to go to bed at night thinking that the worst thoughts of what could have happened to my son.
She can't even stop
What somebody
nothing.
has done to my
Everything's
son.
flowing.
Clearly desperate for answers.
Everything, man. She can't even hold it back. Her nose, her tears, her feelings. That's a real mom right there. She did not waste 28 years for that. She did not try. She did not.
James's family turned to social media, posting on Facebook to ask for help, gaining nationwide attention. This resulted in a non-profit
I didn't
for
mean to
missing
say
children
waste.
called
I
the
meant to say
Paula
like
Class
spent
Foundation,
28 years.
helping circulate thousands of
somebody.
missing posters for James.
It's
Unfortunately,
insane.
their efforts continued to come up short. James's parents had already lost their youngest
Bro
son
looked like a
6
rock
years
star.
earlier, and the idea of losing another son was becoming a
Oh,
painful
no.
reality. On August 8th, 2015, nearly a year since James's disappearance,
Oh,
Howard once
no.
again caught the attention of authorities. But this was
That mom is devastated. She lost both her boys. I'm sorry.
related to the James Chambers case. Howard's girlfriend reported him to the police for domestic assault, and charges were placed. However, she did not attend her pretrial hearing, so the case was dismissed. This was a
Yeah.
slap in the face for the Chambers family, who believed Howard was dangerous. Frustrated, James's parents reached out to David Marshburn, a well-known private investigator. He
David
agreed to help,
Marshburn.
and the first step was searching the Benson's family property, a piece of land owned by the elderly couple that Howard lived with. The Bensons agreed to the search, and Marshburn quickly discovered something big. It turns out that
truck
when Howard
parts.
scrapped his pickup truck, he kept several parts, including the windows, radio, and seat.
Yo.
Lo and behold, there was blood spatter found on
You can
one of
see
the side
it.
windows and the radio.
You can see it.
Fayetteville police were immediately contacted
That's
and
evidence.
dispatched to the Bensons' residence to collect pictures and DNA samples for evidence.
Let's
However,
not get
the
hyped
results
up.
of the blood samples ultimately came back as inconclusive. The DNA sample was too small and not sufficient for testing. And just like that, the investigators were now back at square
How
one.
does this guy
Another
keep
year
winning?
passed, and it seemed that this case had gone cold. There had been no new leads in the case.
How does he's not that smart, man. I'm not saying what is this system, but how is he getting away with this as of right now?
And James's parents were now living 2,300 miles away in Dallas, Texas. Howard had even deleted the disturbing posts from his many Facebook accounts and seemed to be on an indefinite hiatus from social media. Regardless, James's mom had still been thoroughly monitoring Howard's online activity. Then, one day in the late summer of 2016, he reappeared on Facebook, but this time his location was marked as Hobe Sound, Florida. Through further digging, James's mom learned of Howard's enrollment at Hobe Sound Bible College, his new gig as part of the choir, and his new girlfriend, Hannah.
Yo, I thought this was something he grew up, bro. I thought this was like when he was a kid, bro. You done played you played me, bro. What the fuck? No, bro. Who is this guy? Who is this? How do you do this? How is he moving? Bro, I cannot rest, bro. I gotta get these words out. How the fuck does somebody do this? You're insane. All these multiple accounts with different, you're basically personifying yourself as multiple people, and then you completely did a whole 180. Did you guys hear how he was talking in the interviews? At first, I was thinking I accidentally clicked off and and went to a different video. I was actually about to go, bro, in my head, I was actually about to go back into the beginning of the video because I actually thought I went to a new video because I was like, this is two different people. That's not the same guy. I don't believe it. How do you do this?
His mom quickly contacted private investigator David Marshburn, who contacted the Martin County Sheriff's Office in Florida. Once Martin County was caught up to speed, they wondered what Howard's motive or endgame could be. They then reached out to Hannah and her parents, bringing us right back to this interview.
How long have you known Howard? Since late August.
Wow, it all makes sense. Shout out this channel, bro, for orchestrating such a beautiful video. We're gonna go ahead and make this, we're gonna throw this video a like. I might even hit this guy with subscribe, you guys. Shout out this channel. This is one of the best videos I ever seen when it comes to true crime. The way how it was orchestrated, like, bro, you didn't know who, you didn't know what. You couldn't believe anything. It was like an anime episode. Shout out
By
this.
anybody.
Since
Okay.
late August.
What have you been told by anybody?
That he shot a guy, he killed him. He didn't care a whole lot about what people thought. If they didn't do what he wanted, they'd just shoot him.
So you talked about shooting people before?
Soon after this interview, Howard was asked to come into the station for an interview of his own.
Get this
right off the
guy,
bat,
get
Howard
him.
back when the detective tried to dive into his past.
I don't want to go through that.
Well, I understand, but
dive in there.
We need to try to.
I've tried to erase it out of my mind because it was traumatic for me. Right after that, I started using drugs real heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of fried my brain.
Fried my brain.
Okay. But I'm sure you still remember.
Such a liar.
I remember a little bit and stuff.
The detective
Bro, that
made
probably
his
wasn't a
stance
lie,
clear
but
that he believed James was
such
dead
a
and
liar.
that Howard knew what had happened. Their next move was to try and convince Howard to confess by appealing to his newfound faith.
You have made a decision to be a different person, to be a good Christian, to be a leader of the Christian faith.
Unfortunately, nothing was working.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
To get up and walk out.
He's just gonna
This
change his life
interrogation
with God if he
essentially
wanted
ended
to.
there. But after leaving
He
the
could turn
station,
himself
Howard
in.
met with Hannah and she decided to confront him about the allegations herself. As they spoke, Howard was unaware that Hannah was secretly recording their entire conversation with her phone.
Who got killed? Whether it was you or not. Who got killed?
Killed.
Did you do something? What? Tell him.
I can't.
Did you kill the person? Tell me.
I don't have to.
No, you don't have to.
You sure you know?
You didn't. You told me you didn't. You did?
Although Howard never verbally admitted to killing someone, Hannah claims that he nodded his head yes. But before this recording
You
could
can
even be
see.
submitted to the police, Martin County received even bigger news when Howard
Oh man, bro. What is all this
called them
makeup?
saying he was ready to confess. They set up a meeting between Howard, Hannah, her parents, and one of the detectives at a nearby Walgreens.
I'm definitely going to do the right thing. I'm not trying to run or nothing, you know.
Okay, I believe you.
Right after
Detective.
saying this, Howard was advised by Hannah's parents not to speak without legal representation. When the lawyer arrived, he advised
yeah,
Howard
you
to
need a
hold off on
lawyer.
talking until
Everybody
they
needs a
discussed
lawyer,
his decision.
innocent or not.
Everybody parted ways, but
You need
Howard's
a lawyer.
troubles were far from over. After his college was informed of the allegations, his enrollment was terminated. College
Damn
president
it.
Daniel Stetler released a video statement addressing the community about the recent developments.
When he shared the incident with us, we realized it was very serious, and we told him that he could no longer continue as a student at Hope Sound Bible College. We urged him to go back to North Carolina and make confession to the proper authorities.
Soon after this statement went public, Fayetteville prosecutors decided to offer a plea deal to Howard, aiming for a 15 to 20 year sentence for second-degree murder. Howard agreed. He drove all the way from Hobe Sound to Fayetteville on the day of his hearing. But once he got there, he got cold feet and went back to Hobe Sound. The same thing happened a year later, in December of 2017, when prosecutors gave him an ultimatum.
So you can't just catch the nigga? What the hell? He was almost, bro. So you guys can't. That's not evidence. That's not enough. You guys, if there's actually somebody watching this, you know, it's a lot more. Cause I don't know. I know a little bit about the law. That's not enough.
Come back to Fayetteville and confess, or they would proceed with a trial. Howard complied. Once again,
let's go. See? I talked too soon.
Turning to Fayetteville, but once again disappearing. This time, he didn't head back to Hobe Sound.
Disappearing.
His whereabouts were unknown. Even the public defenders representing him had no idea where he was. They contacted the Violent Criminal Apprehension Team, and within 48 hours, Howard was located and arrested near the tiny town of Randall, in North Carolina.
Bro, they get you like that? They get you like that? Bro, I'd be so scared if I was a fugitive. I would be so scared. I'd be so scared. Bro, I'd be terrified. I wouldn't, bro. Oh my gosh, boy. I wouldn't know what to do.
Investigators learned that 2 days before Howard was found, he and Hannah, who is now 18 years old, had driven to Johnson County to tie the knot at a local courthouse. Now that they were married, Hannah had spousal privilege, meaning she would not have to testify against Howard during the trial. But this ultimately didn't matter, because after being taken into custody, Howard officially accepted the plea deal. The plea deal required a full confession, so they brought him into the interrogation room for a final
He got married. He did everything, bro. He did everything James couldn't, man. Did everything James couldn't. Got his life right with God. Got a wife. I don't know if he had kids or not, but did a lot of things James couldn't. James probably was right with God. James probably did have a girl. Probably was married. I don't know. I'm just assuming shit. But how could you?
I did what I did.
According to Howard, on the day James was killed, they left work and stopped at a liquor store, and then went to James's house. They then decided to hang out at the Bensons, but on the way, James said he wanted to go see someone who owed him money that he would beat up if he didn't pay. Howard didn't want to get involved, so he refused, and a heated argument ensued. So, Howard pulled over, went to the back of his truck, and grabbed a rifle.
I just wanted to scare him and tell him to back off, basically. And I didn't even look through the scope or nothing. I just raised up and squeezed the trigger off. It wasn't my intention to hurt him. I just wanted to, in my mind, I was like in the movies, how they shoot right by someone and scare him. And then I was going to tell him if you don't stop, the next one's going to get you. And I was waiting for him to come out yelling at me and say, you just try to kill me. But nothing happened. You know, then I realized I was in trouble.
Damn.
I put my hand up there and there was no pulse or nothing, and he wasn't breathing.
Howard then confessed that he and Reno buried James's body in the woods behind the bench.
I knew Reno had something to do with that. I want to say I believe his story. Even, bro, this is just who I am as a person. I can sympathize with you, man. I feel sorry for you. I do. I'm sorry. I feel sorry for James, his parents. I'm sorry you made that choice. That's all I can be. I can't. That's just. I'm sorry. That hurts.
It's his property.
We came together to help and love each other.
I think I went and cleaned up a little bit and changed my clothes. And I went across the street to some of my friends over there. they have more liquor, and I just started drinking more. Because my mind was so messed up.
2 weeks later, realizing the police were on his trail, Howard decided to dig up and dismember the body and separate it into 3 trash bags.
I wanted it to be able to be easier to handle.
Where did y'all dispose of the body at?
On a bridge.
Was it a creek? Was it a river?
It was a bigger creek.
It was broad daylight when you dumped the body over the bridge.
Well, more towards the evening, but still light outside.
The detectives would later realize that Howard had been dropping hints about what had happened through his Facebook posts. In one instance, through one of his aliases, Howard posted, "I had a very strange dream about you last night. I wonder if it's because I burned all your things." And another post around the same time said, "I never knew much about people until I took one apart, just to see how it worked." The police finally had a confession.
Oh my God, boy. People are insane, man. Somebody raised this. So sorry for your mother, man.
But there was one more thing that he owed investigators due to his plea deal. He needed to help them find James. They first went to the Bensons' property to search for evidence of the burial.
I know he
but
was cold,
unfortunately,
bro. It looked
nothing
cold
notable was
outside.
found. They began looking for the bridge where he disposed of James's body. The search for James's body wasn't as straightforward as investigators had hoped. It had been almost 4 years since James's murder, and Howard couldn't recall which bridge he had dumped the body. So they decided to ask Howard's friend and accomplice, Reno Parks. He refused to speak with police, but thankfully, he was willing to speak with private investigator David Marshburn.
You remember the bridge you talked about with solid concrete? Was it like that? No, it was solid. But there was no metal guardrail. No, there wasn't anything.
There was only one bridge that fit this description, the Keener Road Bridge. Howard did seem to recognize this bridge, but unfortunately, there was still no trace of James. As authorities continued to search for his body, Howard's sentence took place. He was sentenced to 16 to 20 years in prison for the second-degree murder of James Chambers.
Relief. My family's finally gonna have some peace.
On February 21st, 2018, Howard's sentence began. He currently resides at the Columbus Correctional Institution in Whiteville, North Carolina. To this day, James's body has not been found.
Number one. This one hurt me, man. I feel bad. Mother lost a family. Father, too. Lost both her sons. They outlived both her boys. I don't want to do that, man. I couldn't imagine it. Guys, holla at me for the next reaction, bro. It's gonna be more positive next one. I promise you guys. This one actually was just like shock value. I'm gonna see you guys soon. Appreciate y'all for sticking in this one. Hey, man. See y'all in 2 days with the next video. I should go live later today because I make this video the same day I'm about to go live. So, that's it. Peace.